Hey out there, all you sex pots and dong slayers. Welcome to another edition of Team Hurricane Returns. I am Sean.
And I'm Daryl. Did you say dong slayers?
Yeah, dong slayers.
Okay.
We are recording on a Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
Early December. This is the first time we've recorded since Thanksgiving Day.
Since we recorded our Thanksgiving special.
Which was a largely anti-Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
On
When
brand.
in Rome. When in Rome. I don't think that saying is applicable.
Yeah, I don't think that applies to this.
Whatever.
Isn't that what Ron Burgundy says?
I think it is, yes.
Agree to disagree. So what's new with you, Daryl?
Nothing. My wife is walking through the door on the show. Welcome, wife.
Hello, Haley.
I did. I removed so the audience knows, I removed the bedroom cup from my bedroom to wash it with the rest of the dishes. It does sound dirty. It's just a cup of water on the bedside. Not anything gross. The boudoir. We call it boudoir water. No, we don't call it that.
Buy a new bottle of boudoir.
Boudoir water.
Eau de boudoir.
Water for the bedroom. Huh? Yeah, no, that's what we're pitching it over here. We're already there. I'm Don Draper in this. It is. Well, that is to this week's sponsor.
Eau de boudoir.
It is the premier pre and post sex water. Coital water. Yes, that's the better way to term it. That's the more classy way to. And if this brand is anything, it's
so classy.
Very classy.
Yeah, their logo, it looks very satiny,
yes. The bottle is actually red.
Yeah.
It's a red bottle.
Like a solid red.
Yes. With there are curtains on the label.
Yep.
My wife is here. She, as you can see, Sean and I both have glasses on in this Zoom call. We took a photo to prove to everyone prior to, so everyone's going to get a sneak peek at these cool shades that we're rocking.
Yeah.
Zoom call.
Oh,
that's my wife's hands. That also sounds pretty dirty. That is also another sponsor this week. It is a new sex toy, my wife's hand.
Hey, fellas, are you lonely? Buy yourself a My Wife's Hand.
It's like probably the third best ranking toy.
Sex toy.
Right.
Maybe fourth.
Maybe fifth or sixth.
Yeah, like behind the fleshlight orifice holes, the My Wife's Hand really coming in strong, coming in hot.
It is, and it's a new brand.
When did we become such a sex-centric ad revenue?
That was just what was paying this week, so just check them both out. I'm sure they got websites. They didn't give them to us. They were just too sex crazed, I think.
Yeah, they're too sex nuts to even deal with web design. They're so busy making products to help you hydrate and get off.
And isn't that what you want in sponsors?
Yeah, exactly. You want somebody who's so passionate about the product that they make that they don't have time to bullshit you about it. They just make the product, and that's how good it is. That's where 100% of the effort goes, is the product. No ad, no. Yeah. I mean, they bought ad space from us, so.
Well, it's a guerrilla campaign, really. It's like a rogue marketing campaign. And they were like, "What podcast can we market to that My Wife's Hand?"
What? When you listen to podcasts, what screams to you My Wife's Hand? Oh, Team Hurricane Returns, obviously.
Obviously. So I actually jotted some things down since we've already paid the bills.
Okay.
Just some things to talk about, maybe.
Okay.
Alfred Molini returns as Doc Ock.
Yes, I saw that. Along with Jamie Foxx as Electro.
I'm into the first one.
They're going. It sounds like they're going multiverse with it.
It does, and I actually think that is a pretty smart move.
Did you see Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes, I loved it.
Me too. That's my only worry is that it's gonna be a riff on that, but not as good. But like the first 2 Spider-Man movies in this series have been really good. And do you think they'll get Tobey and Andrew Maguire back?
You mean Andrew
for cameos?
Garfield?
Yeah. Toby.
I don't think Andrew. Who'd you say? Andrew who?
I said Andrew McCarthy.
The guy from
Eduardo Saverin, real Eduardo.
But hold on, can we talk about that guy, Andrew McCarthy as Spider-Man?
Yeah, sure.
No, I don't know. Well, now I think they would do one of those like CGI younger things. Yeah, like where they
like Jeff Bridges and Tron Legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
They also did that to Anthony Hopkins in Red Dragon, and very briefly they did it to Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart at the beginning of X-Men 3.
I like it in comic book movies because it makes sense. Like you see flashbacks all the time in comic books,
right?
So it's fine, like I don't necessarily know that I like it when most of the movie, like what is that Scorsese movie on Netflix?
Oh, The Irishman. Did you see it?
I did. I watched. It was fucking 3 hours long. I had to take 2 nights because I fell asleep during half of it. But I liked it, but it also was just like weird to like see them de-age so much, like from all of that movie. And I don't know if it was because like I know there's a bunch of CGI involved in that, and it's kind of weird and unnatural to see Robert De Niro look like that. But like,
I think I saw something online when the movie came out, and this is part of why I haven't watched it yet. That was basically like, yes, he's de-aged, but they can't do anything about the fact that like the shape of his face has changed in the last 50 years. So it looks like younger De Niro, but not like younger De Niro because like his head is a different shape. And they did the same thing in when they made It Part 2. They brought the kids back, but it's supposed to be the same summer, and obviously kids grow fast, so they like digitally de-aged them.
That's weird.
And you could tell. Yeah. Like you could tell that they were not, that they were shaving now, essentially. That these kids were like,
hey, where's that Pennywise? Oh, I mean, hey, where's that Pennywise?
Basically. Like, you can tell. I don't know. I feel like I've seen it done well. Like I remember in Ant-Man thinking it was done well when they showed Michael Douglas at the beginning, but that's like one scene. Yeah.
I mean, they did it for all of Captain Marvel.
Did they?
Yeah, Nick Fury.
I didn't think about that. I just thought he never ages.
I mean, he doesn't, but
did they do the same to Coulson?
Yeah, a little bit.
I didn't notice it in that.
I mean, because it's a pretty drastic change. It wasn't like 4 years ago or anything like that where you can kind of get away with that shit. But like,
Huh. I like Captain Marvel.
I like it too. It took me a little while to get into it. That actually segues really good into another thing I want to talk about. We can talk about Captain Marvel for a little bit before we get there, though, because I didn't really like it the first time I saw it. I liked it. Don't get me wrong.
But it was like the lead into Avengers Endgame.
Oh, but I didn't really think of it that way. Well, maybe I did, and that's why I was like bummed out by it. Now that you say that, you're right. Because I've watched it since then. I'm like, no, this is fun. I really like this. It gets long in parts, but like
Marvel movies do.
It like super like hits that 90s nostalgia spot for me, like in a way that I didn't think was. I'm not going to say it wasn't possible, but like I was always a little like, oh, why are these people so into the 50s or the 60s?
Right.
Let it go, And now I'm like, 90s, please. 90s, please. Like I'm watching the fucking Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix all the time because it reminds me of the fucking 90s. Like,
it was the last time your life was carefree.
Well, that's true, and I'm sure I'm romanticizing it. And I talk about this all the time about how I'm very like aware that I romanticize the 90s, but a lot of it was garbage.
I mean, but we were also kids. And we had the whole world in front of us, so
We did, and that's true, and it felt like that. So my topic at hand, I think, is if you could name like a song or maybe a band, I'd be okay with that too. That just like just says like 90s.
Oh God. Okay.
Like Gin Blossoms. Just like Gin Blossoms, like, but there's different parts of the 90s, right? Like there's like the early 90s and like the late 90s.
Nirvana.
And, like, yeah, Nirvana for sure. Nirvana in a good way, like I feel like Nirvana, like you hear Nirvana and you're like, yes, like.
Oh, so you're saying pick one that like.
No, I'd say it's fine. We just riff on it. It's fine.
I'm trying to figure out what your original thing was. Like, what would be the one thing that like?
I don't think it's one thing. Just no. I mean, it could be. There's some of that in there too, though, right? Because it's like Gegita, like that. All I want to do is to like that song is terrible. Like I listened to it the other day, and I was like, I was really into this song of the night, and I don't know why.
Barbie Girl.
But I listened to that. I didn't really like love it like my sister did. But I was like, I was like, yeah, it's cool. And I listened to it, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I feel just bad.
I mean, there are great things about the '90s too, like you said, Nirvana.
Natalie Imbruglia is Torn.
Yeah, that's both somehow to me. Like that's both like because I actually really like that song number one. But number two, like it feels like very like cheesy kind of 90s at the same time. But I love it. So I make no apologies for that.
Oh God. Robin with a Y.
What was the song though? I can't remember the song.
That Robin, her big hit.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Show Me Love. Was that it?
I don't know. We're going to spend this whole time like
just talking about the 90s.
That's okay. It's fine.
But yes,
the Wallflowers. I actually listened to you know what? I feel like that One Headlight song still holds up. I listened to that the other day and I was like, all right, Jacob Dylan.
I love their cover of Heroes on the Godzilla soundtrack. I think it does its own thing. It takes a David Bowie song and does its own thing with it, and it's pretty good.
I think there's a lot of things that you could say about the 90s, right? Or that like remind you of the 90s. Captain Marvel does a lot of that. Actually, it's the music. A lot of it, like Garbage for me, is always going to be like a 90s.
Oh yeah.
Whenever that came on, even in the theater, I was like, okay, like I'm starting to like dig this because I loved Garbage when I was like a kid. I loved them. I mean, I like them now. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah. When I grow up, as a fucking jam.
Oh, dude, yeah, right. And was that in Big Daddy?
Yes.
Man, yeah. I used to like get jacked for that song. It was awesome.
I remember hearing it in Walter's car for the first time. Hi, Walter. And just being like, holy shit, what is this? This is great. I was on 2.0. No Doubt feels very 90s.
Oh, super No Doubt. Just that, I'm just a girl too, man. I get it. I mean, I'm not. I don't get it, actually. That was a terrible thing to say. But like, I want to get it.
Right. I empathize with the song. I like the song.
Exactly.
Oh God. The Goo Goo Dolls. 90s.
Yeah. Iris, was that the name of that song?
Yep. And then they had Long Way Down and Twister.
Dude, both of those songs, I love them.
They fucking slap.
They still fuck, man. I was trying to use like new school terminology while we talk about these fucking songs from the 90s.
20 years ago, almost 30 years ago. Oh God, yeah, it's been 30 years since 1990, hasn't it?